Survival difficulty, Class 5 unsafe unsecured powerful entity description, Level 32 is an ever-dark forest that stretches out infinitely under the eyeless gaze of a crescent moon and a starless sky. Hanging from the trees that make up the level are a number of skeletons, their pale bones shining under the moonlight, clattering in the wind. Some say they can hear the skeletons speak. Sometimes they speak of their former lives or of prophecies yet to come. Or perhaps it's simply the wind whistling through their skulls, creating the illusion that some life still exists behind their dead eyes. Aside from the skeletons, only a single entity roams the level, one being in two forms. Her first form is that of the Belle, a pale woman with black hair who appears in a long, orange Victorian dress and skeletal face paint. The Belle does not speak, but she beckons wanderers to follow her like a siren luring in its prey. If wanderers chase after her until they lose sight of her, they will quickly run into her other form, the Skeleton Queen. The Skeleton Queen is a tall skeletal figure who wears a tattered black dress. She is a powerful creature and seems to have almost complete control over her domain. If you treat her with respect, then she may let you go, but if you do not, she will command the trees to rip you limb from limb in a second. Or worse, she may toy with you, letting you run, letting you think you have a chance to escape until you can't run any longer, and she forces the ground itself to swallow you up, leaving not a single bone in your wake. Entrances and exits, no one knows for sure how to enter level 32. It seems that all it takes to enter is getting lost in a dark forest. Some survivors have even said they've arrived in the level directly from the front rooms. What we do know is that once you see the skeletons hanging from the trees, there's no way out until you meet the Skeleton Queen herself, and at that point, your fate is in her hands. Those who have been released by the Skeleton Queen find themselves waking up in another forest of the backrooms as if all they had been through was just a nightmare. But it is no dream. A single wanderer travels through a foggy forest, searching for the domain of the Skeleton Queen. She is not the first to intentionally seek out the forsaken forest, but very few have come before her, for no one in their right mind would risk such a fate as those who have fallen prey to the Skeleton Queen. Maybe she isn't in her right mind. Perhaps that's what allows her to keep going. She is wrought with grief, tears perpetually stream down her cheeks as she cannot escape the memory of the one she cannot bear to live without. Or perhaps she is in her right mind. The loss of the love of her life served only to make her understand where her priorities truly lie. To make her realize that there are some things more important than her short life. Some people more important to her than herself. She sees a skeleton hanging from the tree in front of her. Like the first star to mark the dusk, it's quickly joined by more. Hundreds of skeletons lining the trees within her view. She continues her walk. A soft crunching of leaves awakens her from her trance as she sees a figure in an orange dress up ahead. The figure turns and runs into the night. She follows until the figure is out of sight and braces herself for the meeting that is about to commence. "Ah, a martyr," says a deep, feminine voice coming from the mouth of a bed-dressed skeleton that towers over her. She kneels, knowing that she must be very careful if she doesn't want to die without getting what she wants. "How respectful," the Skeleton Queen calls. "Tell me, can you hear what the men on the trees are singing?" A strange question. She listens carefully but hears only the wind whistling through the branches. She tries to rise but finds that she cannot move from her prone position, the Skeleton Queen holding her in place as she waits for an answer. "No," she chokes out. "What are they saying?" "They tell stories of dead gods coming back to life, of empresses falling, of rips and tears in the fabric that connects our world with the next. And the previous. They speak of a new era. An extinction and a rebirth, but you don't care about any of that, do you?" She nods silently, finally allowed to stand. "Then what are you here for?" the Queen inquires. "I want to make a trade. For the life of another." The queen laughs. And what, pray tell, do you have to barter with? My own life. No, not just my life, but my soul. I'm listening. If you bring my love back to life, I will give you both my life and my soul, and I will serve you in this life and the next. Love. Of course. Love makes us do foolish things, doesn't it? And yet, I was in your place once, so very long ago. A distant memory. So, I will grant your request. Thank you. And as the roots rise from the ground to pull her under, worlds way, another claws his way out of a shallow grave. A candle, one extinguished, is relit as her soul is bound to the gnarled mass of soil and roots that make up this plain, entombing her in the infinitude darkness. And for the first time since his passing, and the winner of newest page of Halloween theme is level 143 of the year, so let's get to it. Survival difficulty, class hallowed spiritual presence, highly unsafe, high entity count. Level 143 is the 144th level of the backrooms. Description: level 143 is the 144th level of the backrooms. It takes the appearance of a castle. This castle takes up an estimated 90% of the level and has been nicknamed the Hallowed Castle. The remaining 10% is the outside, named the Hallowed Grounds. The Hallowed Castle's interior resembles that of a medieval castle, with a key feature: a strange orange fog fills the level. This orange fog seems to be harmless, though direct inhalation is not advised. The Hallowed Castle has been divided into 4 key parts. The main halls. The main halls consist of a series of large halls that occupy most of the castle. Throughout this area hallowed knights can be seen patrolling. These are hostile entities wearing a suit of armor and wielding a sword. They will attempt to chase down any wanderers they come across and kill them using their sword. Hallowed knights will stop a chase upon losing sight of their target, so rounding a corner is a viable escape option. Upon losing a target, a hallowed knight will return to its patrol route. The main halls are the safest area of the Hallowed Castle. They also connect to different areas of the castle. The Banquet Hall. The Banquet Hall is a large room containing several long dining tables. Plates with dishes such as pumpkin pie, toffee apples, and candy corn are found on the tables, so this area is a great stop for food. Goblets of red wine are also found here. The Banquet Hall is home to hallowed knights and specters. Specters are ghost-like figures that sit at the dining tables. They will talk to other specters who are also seated at the table. Specters do not acknowledge wanderers unless they attempt to take from the specter's plate. If a wanderer steals from the plate, the specter will stand and chase the wanderer until they drop the stolen food. However, specters will never leave the Banquet Hall under any circumstances. Specters will never stop chasing a wanderer unless they drop the food, or leave the Banquet Hall. All exits from the Banquet Hall lead back to the main halls. The Brewery. The Brewery is a medium-sized room, filled with cauldrons and potions, stacked on shelves. This room is one of the most dangerous, but arguably the most helpful of them all. The Brewery is inhabited by witches. Witches are cruel entities that will attack wanderers using an array of potions brewed to cause harm. Some will poison the wanderer, some witches will cast spells to attack the wanderer. The witch itself is very weak to direct attack. The wanderer may utilize the potions on the shelves. Against witches, each potion is labeled as to what it does. Killing a witch does not erase them permanently, as they seem to almost resurrect themselves after approximately 10 minutes of being dead. It is unknown how a witch accomplishes this. The exit furthest from the entrance of the Brewery leads to the final section of the Hallowed Castle. The Barracks. The Barracks are a series of connected rooms containing a wide array of medieval weaponry, ranging from bows to hallowed blades, carried by hallowed knights. This weaponry is closely guarded by hallowed knights. The Hallowed Trade Committee, HTC, will pay top prices for this weaponry, for those either brave or foolish enough to attempt to steal some of it. Most wanderers use this as a great way to stock up on weaponry, useful in other levels. It should be noted that hallowed blades are one of the strongest swords known to the backrooms. It is unknown what metal the blade is composed of, but it gives a bright shine and seems to be tinted a faint orange. It is theorized that Hallowed Knight's armor is made from the same metal, as the faint orange tint is present. The Hallowed Grounds. The Hallowed Grounds are a small area outside of the Hallowed Castle. The Hallowed Grounds are devoid of entities. There are trees that have no leaves, bushes which are orange, and an orange fog lingers. This fog seems to be mostly harmless, but direct inhalation is not advised. The Hallowed Grounds are situated outside of the front of the Hallowed Castle. They do not offer much in terms of resources, but the base for the hallowed trade committee is here. The exit from level 143 is also present in the Hallowed Grounds. Simply walking out of the gate will return you to level 10. Bases, outposts, and communities. The Hallowed Trade Committee, completely friendly organization of traders, situated in the Hallowed Grounds. Trades for goods found within the Hallowed Castle, namely weapons and rare potions. Entrances and exits. Entrances. Rarely a broken down castle can be found in level 10. Entering the castle will change the environment to level 143. Exits. Walking out of the gate in the Hallowed Grounds will lead back to level 10. However, the castle ruins will